What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please subscribe if you haven't already. So, the big talk around the NBA, of course, has been Kawhi Leonard's buzzer beater. The buzzer beater was needed, of course, but I don't feel like the Clippers should have needed it because I feel like they should have beat the Pelicans maybe by 10 plus points. But they kept letting them hang around. And fortunately for us, the NBA world, we got a chance to, witness Kawhi, do something special again. And we haven't had many of those instances in the last few years because of his health and his injuries and things of that nature. But last year he did give us one performance in the Denver game. That was another one that was great. But it's good to see him, give performances and plus do things of that nature and play in the regular season also. And load management is not really on the menu, basically, from what, I hear through some of my sources in regards to the Clippers. But who knows? That could just be information that they're putting out on some, media people, some sites or whatever to, maybe make people think what they want. But it would be nice to see if Kawhi or how many games Kawhi can play this year for the Clippers. I said before, I think, maybe 55 games, maybe 60 if he's healthy. And he looks healthy. He looks great. He looks MVP caliber type player to me. And I know it's probably premature to say that, but I mean, right now he looks like he would be, in that class, if we're maybe a little bit further in the season, maybe add like another 10, 15 games of the season. If he looks pretty much like the same and what he's looking now, then yeah, he should be in the conversation at least. Especially if the Clippers are winning, which I think they will win. They got a game tonight coming up, continuing their journey against the Miami Heat. So they get to see a familiar face, a former player in Norman Powell. And I think it'll be a great matchup. I really do. The Heat play, very level-headed, very smart. Bam is good. Add Norman Powell. They kind of had a little, up and down through the beginning of the season, just like the Clippers. I believe the Heat are 3-3. The Clippers are 3-2. So, I mean, they're basically playing the same basketball. So hopefully, the Clippers can break the stride and keep on going and continue their win streak. Well, maybe I shouldn't say win streak, but continue the success off the last game that Kawhi, dramatically saved, them from losing against the Pelicans. So that'd be a great to see. I do think that the Clippers will win this game. I believe the Clippers are at home, so. Yeah, but I believe the Clippers will win the game. I'm going to watch the whole thing, of course, and check it out and see what I see and see how the Clippers improve each game, because that's exactly what I'm looking for, the improvements each game. Like, where are we defensively better this game than we were the last game, or what are we trying to – and I'm basically keeping a strict eye on Ty Lue because you know how I feel about Ty Lue. I'm not the biggest fan. I think his methodology of coaching just really doesn't equate to winning unless he's willing to actually make changes in regards to how he coaches. And I don't see him doing that no time soon, but you never know. They can, build a certain type chemistry where they're unbeatable, and where they have everything covered. And you never know what could happen as the season goes on. So you keep the hope alive. But at the same time, I'm very weary about Ty Lue and his ways. And I definitely think somebody within the organization, like a Jeff Gundy or somebody like that, need to let him know and give him a different insight on coaching in regards to how he have his players ready, the conciseness of what they have when they step out on the court, and an identity is the biggest thing for me specifically. So going into this game, I think the Clippers defense will slow down some of, or if not most of, the players on the Heat. And I think that the momentum of the Clippers and their ability to score a lot better, I think that will, propel them past the Miami Heat so they can go into their next game as on a 2-game winning streak. For me, I guess if I wanted to predict a score, I want to say 119 to 108, Clippers, but we'll see exactly how it pans out. But I definitely like, the Clippers fight last game with the Pelicans. The Pelicans is a team actually that kind of had the Clippers number now that I think about it, for a while. So, yeah, that's one of those matchups where the Clippers, everybody kind of contributed. Everybody played well. And the main pieces played well and showed up, and Kawhi just showed out, honestly. So I say this much: if Kawhi can continue what he's doing as far as picking his spots, finding his spots, which he always does. He always shoots very efficient, high efficient, high in rhythm, and doesn't take too many bad shots. If Kawhi keeps doing that and stays healthy, and this load management isn't a problem, and they're just playing it through, playing it out, and Kawhi's healthy enough to do it and sustain, I would let him keep playing, because the more chemistry he builds with his team, the better their chances are of winning anyway. So, the chemistry has to be there. It has to get developed really during the regular season, obviously, before you go into the postseason. So I would like to see him develop that chemistry, and they not worry about load management as much. If he has to miss a game here and there, well, he misses a game here and there. That's fine. A lot of NBA players are going to do that just due to health reasons, and certain injuries do happen at times and things like that. So it's understandable. We get it, but at the same time, predominantly being there for your team and playing is definitely important. And I don't want to get that misconstrued. I know the load management thing is an issue with a lot of fans in regarding Kawhi, but I think if he can stay healthy, and I think if he wants to play as many games as he can, and if they want him to, the team, Clippers organization, of course, and kind of take the leash off of him a little bit and kind of see what he can do, as how many games he can play in the regular season, I think that'd be a good thing, even though it is taking a risk because he might not be available in the postseason and the playoffs. I get that. But I still think that's the best option, especially with all the new players that got on there. Even though they got veterans, you saw how they looked against Utah the very first night, opening night of the season. And it looked so bad that they looked like a bunch of rookies trying to figure each other out and trying to get on the same page. But at the same time, that's what I'm saying. The rhythm and the cohesiveness has to be there. So if they're going to be this team that can possibly win a championship or be a championship contender, Kawhi has to play a good amount of games for them to build that chemistry with him, and vice versa. So right now, it's really hard to judge the Clippers. They're 3-2. They're above 500 basketball at the current moment, but it's really early. But at the same time, you hear Ty Lue say 13, 15 games in, they'll have a rhythm and they'll figure out who they really are. I've heard him say that. So if that's the case, we're going to wait to around, game 15, game 20 of the season to really give our analysis on the Clippers even more. Of course, we're going to, keep doing that anyway as the games progress, at each game that we see on a nightly basis. But around that 15th, 20th game of the season, I want to see where the Clippers are record-wise, and kind of go from there and really, depict and see, maybe, because by that time I think you could tell whether they'll really be a rhythm type team or whether their age will just, show at times, or will they build any type of rhythm within that time or a little bit after that time, to see who they're really going to be long term. But as of right now, take care of business with Miami and try to just keep, build up many wins as you can. Ride Kawhi and James Harden as much as you can. James Harden had a good game last game too. Double-digit assists is always good. With 20-plus points, that's always a good thing. It's actually a great thing. If you ask me, added on to what Kawhi's 34 in 6 steals, which is 6 steals is crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, you add all that onto, compile that onto everything with Kawhi, what that Kawhi did along with James Harden. Zubac played great as well. Everybody just chipped in the right time, right spaces when they needed to. And it took a collective effort to beat the Pelicans, because they do got a nice, young, talented squad. I didn't see Jordan Poole scoring 30 points off the bench, but I think the Clippers defense got to get a little bit more sound, a little bit more structured than that if they plan on winning. But hopefully those are things that'll be tweaked, as the season goes on. So that's why I said, we'll see how they are now and what they need to grow upon and how they fix things collectively. But, as the season goes on, I do expect them to play better. Hopefully they do. And hopefully, of course, as always, they stay healthy. That's the main thing with them. All these older players, if they're on the floor together enough, they're going to figure it out if they're healthy enough, because they're too wise and too many veterans not to on the team.